The use of e-scooters is soaring in Seattle. New numbers from Lime shows there were over 1 million rides in June, smashing last June's total of 537,000.
With the rising ridership comes an increase in injuries as well. According to a study from UW Medicine, there's been a 3,000% increase in scooter-related injuries in recent years. There were just 9 cases from 2018 to 2020. Compared to 2021 to 2023, we saw 273 injuries. The most common scooter injury, over half of the cases were to the arms or legs, and the most concerning, nearly half reported head or neck injuries. I'm joined by Dr. Beth Ebel from Harborview Medical Center. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And I know Harborview, of course, is a part of UW, and so those statistics, that's nothing new to you, that big increase that we're seeing in scooter-related injuries. You know, the other day, I have to say, I saw a bunch of teenagers, they're on a scooter, they weren't wearing their helmets, and I thought, oh, I hope they don't fall.
Exactly. You know, we fix so many things at Harborview, but we cannot fix head injury. So the most important thing to us is that people are wearing their helmets, and most folks aren't. It does require planning ahead and bringing that helmet with you, maybe clipping it to your bag.
I can see why, though, that many people aren't wearing helmets when they're on scooters. Sometimes it's just a spur of the moment thing. A lot of them are tourists. They might not have a helmet ready to go. So is there something else that we need to be talking about here besides, you know, the availability of helmets?
Yes, so helmets number 1, 2, and 3 for me, but also visibility really matters. The helmet does help with that too, because it's reflective often and above the level where cars see it. But it does help you to have a backpack with reflective stripes or a coat that's reflective too. The key is that cars can see you.
And what about city policies here? Now that we see this big increase, is there something that the city should be doing about this, city leaders?
Yeah, that's a great point. Our city has done a good job in really focusing on one of the critical things that I don't think everyone thinks about, and that is slowing the cars down. So we have speed limits of 25. If we saw that in other areas in the state, we would see a real impact in the reduction of risk, not just for scooter injuries, but even car crashes with pedestrians. It just gives everyone a little more time to react and reduces the energy that's transferred in a crash. Also, those separated lanes that you see for bikes and scooters, that helps too, because it gets those more vulnerable users out of the way of the vehicles. Scooter users should not be on the sidewalk. We've had a couple serious injuries of older people or walkers on the sidewalk who certainly did not expect to be having someone coming from the back and hitting them. So that is also important. Scooters and bikes have to be in the lane of traffic.
Are you seeing any trends as far as ages go when you see people coming in, you know, after they're hurt?
You know, I'm a pediatric provider, so I see mostly kids, and there's a lot of kids riding scooters for various reasons. Several weeks ago, I had a kid come in who was on his scooter, had a huge crash, and he was wearing his helmet. The helmet was fractured. And so that, you know, at the end, ultimately, we were able to fix everything else that was wrong for that kid. And he was asking me all these great questions about, you know, head injury and so on. And to myself inside, I was just so grateful because I could just hear from his questions how good his brain was, right? And that's the piece that I wish we could do better. We prevent more brain injury from happening, but we cannot fix the damage that's already been done.
Doctor, what do someone have to do immediately? Say that they are involved in a crash, they fell on a scooter. What do they need to do?
Well, I think the first thing is just to get yourself out of traffic so nothing else happens. You know, most people in the city are willing to help people out, and that is something I just remind myself of in a difficult situation. It's your job to help the other guy, right? And so that's call our 911 system. We have one of the best emergency medical transport systems in the world. They're incredible. And they really can help triage what you need to do. If you need to come to Harborview, they'll bring you here. If you need to go somewhere else, they'll help you get there. So that's what I would say. But, you know, one thing I appreciate about these interviews, We doctors see people once the injury has happened, and I appreciate the chance to talk to folks on the news. You know, it's not that hard to take a helmet and clip it to your bag when you think you might be coming home on a scooter. And some countries do a better job of this. So I would just, I really encourage people to plan ahead, make sure they're visible on the scooter, make sure they are plan their route to have a path that is outside of the lane of traffic, because we do now have a growing network of bike and scooter lanes that keep cars separate from them.
All right. Yeah, good point. Safety first always. Thank you, Dr. Beth Ebel.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.